Hi Aquarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for May 31st to June 6th. Let's get right into things. We do have Venus entering Cancer in your 6th house. I feel like for you guys, this week is going to be very based on like practical stuff, like having to do with your career, your work, what it is that you want to do, just and the overall trajectory of your life. That's kind of what I feel with this Venus in the 6th house. You're really going to be, and Mars is going to be in there with her. So there's going to be this huge focus on what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what feels right as far as where it is that you're going. It really is, even for a lot of you, it's even going to have you looking at your health a lot, because health is the 6th house as well. So we have TikTok, the idea of some sort of time being the essence here. We have to the sea, which means don't do anything right now. Regeneration. So you're in the process of doing a lot of changing. It's sort of like a very slow kind of feeling that I'm getting, actually. So let's pull your Celtic cross spread and we'll work in the astrology as we go along. So we're going to do a general spread first, all areas of life here, whatever, and then we'll go into separate relationship read. So this first spread, you may resonate with it as relationship or a family situation, something to do with work, whatever. But that second spread that I'm going to timestamp in the description box below, that's going to be for relationship only. You're also going to see a 20% off discount down there for two readings that I'm offering as my June special. One is, I used to call it just a lover spread, but it's a lover, family, or friend energy read. So one is just tarot, and the other one is tarot plus birth charts. So just make sure that if you're ordering the birth chart one, you know everybody's exact date, exact time of birth, because our rising sign changes quite frequently. So typically we always say 60 to 90 minutes the rising sign changes, but I've worked with charts where several minutes make a huge difference. So if you're interested in that, okay, what do we have going on here? Yeah, thinking about the future for sure. A true Aquarius energy, thinking about the future. Two of Wands, Mars and Aries, making plans, moving forward. Yeah. This is a partnership energy as well. This is an energy where you're gaining influence in work regarding your particular approach to something, which is really nice. But there are two aspects to a situation that you have to figure out. And so if this has to do with a job, maybe you're a little conflicted about which path to take. You won't really have to figure out which best maximizes your skill set. If you might be confused between two people, who is the person who's going to actually be able to bring you what it is that you need. Now, some of you may be getting over an energy and you're meeting somebody new, because this can indicate a new romantic partnership, maybe through friends, through work. But overall, a really nice energy coming into this. It's just sort of like looking at that future, right? I just feel like that's what's going to be going on for you guys. On the 31st of May, the first day this reading applies to, we have Mars in Cancer. That's going to be in your 6th house. So again, your 6th house is your day-to-day experience in general, including your work environment, who you work with and for, as well as your mental, physical, emotional health, and your pets. And that's going to be in a beautiful conversation. It's going to be trining Neptune and Pisces in your 2nd house of money and things that matter to you. Your value, your self-esteem, your self-concept, the money that you make from the work that you do. It's a very spiritual aspect to this energy that brings I'm calling it kind of like a mystical energy, because that Neptune and Pisces is very, very mystical. It's allowing yourself to go there. So I just feel like Mars is going to be presenting you, Aquarius, with this conversation, this internal conversation where it's like, if you don't feel like you're doing the work that you feel like you're meant to be doing, living where you're supposed to be living, in situations that you're meant to be in, taking care of yourself the way that you should be taking care of yourself, all of these, because Mars is very concerned about, are we on the right path? And in Cancer, Mars in Cancer, it's the bottom line is always about safety. Is this the best thing for you to feel safe in, right? And with Neptune and Pisces, we're allowing ourselves to dream and go there and imagine, right? So You might have a kind of like a lack of clarity with Neptune and Pisces. So there's this very sort of dreamy, mystical element. So a lot of you might be dreaming about getting into a new career, dreaming about, you just want to be careful in this energy though, of making any big sweeping decisions regarding like career or moving or some sort of radical diet or some sort of radical anything. You want to just be careful because you might not have all the information, besides the fact that Mercury is retrograde, that Neptune and Pisces is a very sort of smoke and mirrors kind of energy. It feels good while we're in it, but we don't realize that we're not seeing everything while we're in it. But it's still going to feel good. It's a feel-good day on May 31st. Then going to June 2nd, that's when Venus enters Cancer in that 6th house, everything that we just mentioned. So a very nurturing, beautiful energy. This is, you know, I always say, you know, when we have Venus in Cancer in the 6th, to me it's like, yeah, you brush your teeth in style kind of thing. I mean, just doing something that you love to do every day, but just appreciating the beauty in every day too. It again, feel good energy. Okay, so I do like that. And then on the 3rd, we have the Sun in Gemini trining, nice conversation, Saturn in Aquarius between your 5th and your 1st house. So that 5th house, I feel like, yeah, I do think, even though we have a lot of wacky stuff going on in Gemini because we have Mercury retrograde there, I do think there's going to be some sort of communication that's going to be going on, or at least that you're wanting to go on, and you want to communicate in a way that's very, very supportive. Now, because Mercury is retrograde, you might feel like either you don't have all the information of a situation, or you feel like as you're trying to communicate what you're trying to say, you could feel a little frustrated because like you have in your mind's eye how you want your words to come out, but they might not be coming out that way, right? Because again, in that 5th house, you have that Sun in Gemini, and we have that retrograde energy in there. So there's a lot of focus for that 5th house. The 5th house has to do with romance, falling in love, love affairs. It has to do with creativity, entrepreneurial efforts. It has to do with your children, if you're in that space where you have children. Anything that you love to do because you love to do it, right? And it's going to be in this beautiful conversation about with Saturn in Aries, and that in Aquarius rather, and that's happening in your 1st house itself. There's a lot of conversation going on with yourself about what do you really want in relationship? What do you really want for your kids? Do you want kids? What do you really want to do as a hobby? What do you really want to do in business? Really beautiful energy to focus on future goals, long-term plans. And I see you really wanting to figure things out. You want to be in the space of support, but you might feel like the support is lacking in the way that you would really like it to happen. Maybe with a particular relationship or particular situation, or maybe you're really looking to grow a little quicker in a like maybe a position that you're in right now. But there's a lot of like there's vagueness here. There's vagueness. So I like the fact that we got to the sea, because if you notice, she's just sitting on top of her emotions, reading her book. She's not looking in the past. She's not looking to the future. For now, she's just being. It's almost like pressing a pause button, yet you are very aware of time. So it's almost like you have a wait and see kind of thing with something, but you're aware of the time regarding something. So that could be probably a little frustrating. Love this though. Love the regeneration energy, because in order to regenerate, something has to be put away or gotten past, right, from the past in order to be rebirthed. And I like that we have these two really nice energies here, the Four of Wands and the King of Cups. This Four of Wands is a very strong foundation energy, really nice. This is an energy of like creativity, very strong foundation, success after completion. That's why we call this the honeymoon card, because the Three of Wands is get married, and the Four of Wands is about, see, you got the Two of Wands. We don't have the Three of Wands here. Oh wait, do we have the, we have the Three of Wands right here in your block. So it's like you want to move forward. Maybe you want to get married. You want to start a business. You want to do that thing. But getting to that next space is what your block is, but it's going to happen for you. Whatever it is that you have in your mind's eye, this is so positive. This is really nice. Again, going back to this, the Four of Wands, what it means, very celebratory vibe. right? Something that you're really good at, or what you can offer to a situation is appreciated. So it's really nice. And in relationship, this is about somebody recognizing something special about you. I'm really appreciating it. So for many of you, this can indicate a new partner opening up their heart and expressing their feelings for you. It's a really nice energy. And now the King of Cups. So yeah, very charismatic, sociable, sensitive, loving, unafraid of intimacy. Fabulous, fabulous. But this also indicates that there's this need to settle a conflict, either within yourself or with someone else. And it doesn't have to be like a big deal. Like there are good intentions behind this, but you might feel unclear how to actually handle it. And the advice here is to go with your heart, but sometimes it's easier said than done. Sometimes it's hard to do that. There's got to be some sort of conflict settled. I just feel like somebody wants something to happen, but it's like you're not really in agreement with either what they want from you or what they need. But I do see you leaving something. We have 2 leaving cards here. But not like dramatic, nothing like that. I mean, the 8 of Cups, very emotionally intelligent card. It's leaving a situation because something doesn't feel right. It's just time to move on. And you feel sad about it, but you're not regretful. You know, it's not an unhealthy thing. You've likely already left the situation emotionally because you really want to work on yourself. So this could be a relationship, a job, the idea of a relationship, the idea of a job, I fill in the blank. Even that family situation. It's like, you know what? Have to move on from this. This is a Saturn in Pisces. It really is that recognition where in the healthiest way you're realizing, yeah, you know what, I really would have loved for that to have worked out, but I'm seeing now very clearly that if I stay in that situation, I'm really not going to get where I want to go. Not at least in the way that I feel morally comfortable with, whatever that is to you. Now we have the energy external to you that's surrounding you here, right? That's impacting you. We have the 6 of Swords. Yeah. So just this moving on, right? Moving on. Detaching. At least taking a break. Maybe taking a break from a relationship. Taking a break from a family situation. Just taking a break, stepping back. And this allows some space to do some internal work. Now for some of you, that space might be because an energy that you're dealing with maybe has to move away for work or has to go back to school, right? Because it can indicate literal travel. But yeah, this is your block. The 3 of Wands energy. So for some of you, this is a marriage card, right? But it's at least an important relationship. This is one of the good fortune cards, by the way. That is your block. So this just indicates delays though, guys. It's just some setbacks and something not working out as quickly as you would like it to, right? And that could be a little frustrating because you feel this call to move forward, and you will. It's just something right now is blocking you from being able to do that right now. Now we have the Moon in the near future. So depending on how you're resonating with this, if this has to do with a relationship, this is confusion and disappointment because you feel very let down regarding something. You feel very disappointed in something. And because of that, and it doesn't mean that they have to be a bad person, something, I don't know, maybe you guys are just different in particular ways, but there's this lack of trust that the relationship can actually work out that leads you to make a decision about the relationship. So that's going to resonate with many of you because it's this energy of like crisis of faith, right? But being very honest about it, because in numerology, the Moon is the Hermit energy, right? And the Hermit is Virgo, and Virgo is all about solving problems. So that you're recognizing that something is probably not going to change or be any different. Now, if this has to do with career or money, you might achieve a goal, but you feel like it wasn't really even worth it. Emotions run high, with whatever you're dealing with, whether it's your colleagues, maybe you're dealing with a family member, some sort of financial situation. This could even be having to do with a lawsuit, whatever it is, but energy running very high, and you feeling like you need to protect yourself from others' negativity. But you doing something, but at the end of the day, you're being like, was it worth it? Was it worth it? So there is that energy, right, of just sort of like the crisis of faith and feeling like, was something really worth the effort, right? Because at the end of the day, it's this Mars and Leo energy. you feel the need to defend yourself, defend your way of thinking, defend something, right? I mean, this does typically indicate like some sort of obstacle. You're going to have the resiliency to overcome whatever it is, but it's this obstacle where you're in this space where your morality and your personal philosophy is really important to you. And you may be in a situation, though, where you're feeling like you need to defend it, right? Because that's that Mars in Leo energy. It's like you're drawing a line in the sand and saying, look, this is how I am. This is what I believe. This is what I want, need, and desire. Aquarius, you're very good at doing that. You really are. I'm getting a very healthy vibe from this reading. So we have the Five of Wands in reverse, and sometimes the reversals are way better. This is harmony. This is some sort of problem being resolved, which is good. And then we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse, which is somebody who is just having very unrealistic expectations about a situation. So that's either you or an energy that you're dealing with. We have the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have the Chariot in the reverse. So we're getting reversals now. So, Ten of Pentacles in the reverse is really about conflict and loneliness. So Aquarius, if this has to do with a relationship, you might just be feeling really lonely. This could have to do with some sort of family conflict, family situation. This could have to do with a foreclosure on a home, foreclosure on a business, anything like that. But where there's some sort of unrealistic approach to the situation. Even though there was like the sense of resolve, like you just felt like you needed to just sort of stand your ground. Maybe somebody else was having unrealistic expectations here. We have the Chariot reverse though. Whenever we have the Chariot reverse, this can be arrogance and self-indulgence. You might be dealing with this, right? This can manifest as a person spiraling out of control or just sort of going off the right path. So there could be like egotism or selfishness indicated here. So really like a change of focus is needed, you know, some sort of change in focus. So especially if you are dealing with an energy like that, it's like just try to like shift the focus now. So we have the Five of Swords clarifying that. Yeah. So I do feel like you're dealing with an energy, because when the Five of Swords comes up for you, that means you're dealing with another energy where there's this huge divide between what it is that you want and what it is that you're living, right? There's this clash of desires and reality and tension and ongoing conflict that you're not going to win because somebody feels or thinks the way they do and you can't mitigate their stuff. So you're really just better off walking away and dealing with the anger and disappointment, because it's no matter how loud you yell or no matter how much you try to talk somebody or convince somebody into something, you simply can't. You can't mitigate other people's stuff. You can't fix the unfixable. And other people's stuff is unfixable to you. Only they could do it, right? So we have the Nine of Wands here. And the Nine of Wands is strong energy, right? This tells me that you're tired. You've been fighting very long and hard, having to do with a certain area of your life. You're exhausted, but you have the perseverance to continue. This is temporary. This feeling of feeling like defensive right now, it's temporary. Make sure you don't keep yourself in a negative mindset, right? Because then what comes after the Nine of Wands is the Ten of Wands, right? So just be careful of that. Beautiful, the Emperor. It's good. Taking the bull by the horns. Now, some of you may be meeting somebody new. If you're resonating with this as a relationship, excellent energy. You know what's good about the Emperor energy? This is meeting somebody who's not only fantastic, but they value tradition, and you will have a lot of commonalities with them as far as your belief system goes. So that's awesome. Others of you, you're deciding to maybe go off on your own jam when it comes to your career. So starting your own business, being a leader in your own life, right? Being the leader, being the boss in something. Or at least being the leader of something. Even if you work for somebody else, you're sort of having your own thing. Beautiful. The Sun. And we have the Hangman in the reverse. So let's see. Okay. So the Hangman in the reverse. Interesting that we would get this, right? Because this is like, there's a need here to reevaluate your expectations here. And the reason why I'm saying, okay, that's interesting, is because of the unrealistic expectations that we have over here. This is just something that we need to figure out here. Is you need to reevaluate your expectations. See if you want to do or what you expect is a realistic possibility. You want to be careful of very rigid thinking or any martyrdom here, right? Being a martyr, right? Because remember, the hangman is Neptune energy, which rules Pisces. And that's the energy where we can find ourselves victimized, or we feel like we're needing to martyr ourselves for a particular situation. Or you might be dealing with this kind of energy showing up in someone that you're dealing with, where they feel like in order for them to have a relationship with you, do business with you, be in whatever it is that you guys are, or however you guys are connected, that they would be the ones needing to martyr or sacrifice something that they want, need, and desire, right? But you just want to see if some kind of fantasy or false narrative isn't being held on to right now. Look over things with some honesty and see if you could just pull yourself away from a situation that is ultimately not going to give you what it is that you want. There's going to be a huge focus on that because we do have the sun. And what I like about the sun is the sun tells me you're going to have all the tools you need in the toolbox to get past the situation, whether it's moving away from that energy, moving towards that energy, starting your own thing, whatever it is. We have the beautiful sun here. I really like this. So there's going to be this recognition, and that's where I think the regeneration is coming in. Just, to be forewarned, just to be forearmed, if you have any big plans that you're very focused on right now as you're reading this, and these things have sort of hit you as epiphanies, like within the past several days, question everything, right? Because as we go into Mercury retrograde, we're dealing with the pre-shadow, so you might not have all the information to something that might seem really great on its surface. It might not roll out exactly the way that you think. So it's just about recognizing that. But to me, I like this because I feel like you're very level-headed about things and you're allowing the change to happen. The only thing is, I feel like you might be not completely realistic about something. But then we get into a tricky domain there. Is it that you're not being realistic, or is it that you're being completely realistic based on all the information that you currently have, but because of what's going on with this trippy Mercury retrograde? This is a long Mercury retrograde, by the way. Really, we're not going to be getting straight with this stuff until mid-July, keeping it real, by the time the post-shadow and all that nonsense finishes. So it might be that, you know what I mean? You might be totally on point with what you're thinking, but there could be elements of the situation, not that you're not seeing because you lack the ability to see, but because it's simply not available to you right now. Do you know what I mean? So just something to keep, in your mind if you are in a space of trying to figure something out. All right. So let's talk about relationship for our Aquarius friends. So July 5th. Mercury and Gemini are squaring Neptune and Pisces, trying to get all those facts together. 5th house having to do with relationships. So yeah, make sure that if you're sharing values with somebody who maybe you're just meeting, take everything with a grain of salt. If somebody's like, yeah, I want to get married too, and have 3 kids, and get a vacation house in Tahiti, and white picket fence, and blah, 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 blah. Awesome, that's great. Wipe that plate, grain of salt. Grain of salt. I'm not telling you not to believe them, because I'm sure they may totally believe it in the moment as they're saying it, and it sounds good, and enjoy the vibe and all of that. But just understand you may not have all the information. So you want to be careful of getting too swept up in anything right now, in anything. And I just feel like on that June 5th, the Mars in Cancer opposing Pluto in Capricorn between your 6th house of your day-to-day, whether that's your job, your health, something with your pets, something like that, there can be that aggressive aspect that can lead to those hurt feelings and dramatic arguments, but it has to do with your subconscious. It's like something is not squaring with your subconscious and what it is that you really want for yourself. So there's going to be this sort of like squaring off between how you're living your life in the day-to-day and what it is that you really want. And this is really healthy because it's going to push you to make a decision. Selling out. Goodness gracious. We got this for several energies. Now check your other placements and see if you didn't get that again. Now, you guys, I'm the 11th sign that I'm doing. I probably got this like 3 other times. I mean, not in every reading, but still enough for me to comment on it. Same thing with pride. What the heck is going on here? You guys see, I shuffled 6 times before I put the camera on, and then I shuffle additional. So who the heck knows? These things need to come out. Pay attention to the signs. Yes. You know what? Look. You've got Pluto and Capricorn in your 12th house. Pluto is very karmic energy. And it's all about digging up. Neptune rules the 12th house, which is like ruling the emotions underneath it all. So you got the digging up and the emotions underneath it all. It's like you're kind of going to be very in touch with your feelings right now, almost like too in touch, if there is such a thing. I don't think so, but that's just me. But really pay attention. This is very, very, very faded kind of energy going on here. Selling out, doing something that you don't morally feel comfortable with. Is somebody asking that and you're really sitting in your pride saying, I don't agree with that. But you got to pay attention to the signs. Are you dealing with an energy in relationship that's asking that of you, Aquarius? For you to go against the grain. And you know what that means. And going against the grain for an Aquarius is different than going against the grain for any other sign, right? God love you. I mean, honestly, who doesn't love? I always tell people that. Know where your Aquarius is in your chart and love it. Just give it a hug. Because that's where you are unique. That's your special space. That's your special sauce in life, right? Your Aquarius energy is beautiful. And if somebody's trying to make you do something that you don't feel comfortable doing or accept a circumstance that you feel like is very inherently against your grain, I don't think you're going to be able to do it, to be honest with you. I just don't think you will be. And the thing is, remember, opposite the 12th house is the 6th house, your mental, physical, and emotional health. With Mars and Venus in there, you have to understand why this pairing is so powerful. It's very powerful because it pulls Venus, I'm not even going to say into her shadow manifestation, but into her manifestation where she's going to be less light. I know a lot of readers are like, Venus is going to be so light in her. She is, but Mars is going to say, all right, because they're hanging out together in Cancer, which is all about how safe do you feel? How good is this for you? And Mars is, are you on the right path? And Venus listens to Mars. So Venus is going to be like, you know what? I have to look at this. And this is in your day-to-day. How do I feel in this? How am I living my life? Am I doing the right job? Am I where I'm supposed to be? Because if you're not, then Venus needs to come in and temper the situation. And sometimes that tempering, she understands, to a certain extent can be painful. There can be a certain amount of suffering or strife or challenge needed to bring us to that better place of harmony and balance. If we, by chance, swung too far in a direction that's not for our ultimate good. So if we're entertaining a relationship that's really not meant for us, or even in the previous spread, right? A job not meant for us, that's where she's going to come in and she's going to be like, all right, we got to temper this. We got to pull it back. We got to look at this and see how fair is this? How equitable is it? You know? Got that devil energy there, you see? So we have coming into this energy the 5 of Cups. And this is, 5 of Cups is sadness, right? Because something ended before you felt ready for it to. So, this could be anything from maybe you guys were friends and maybe it went someplace else and then the friendship got, had to be reconstructed and then you guys weren't friends anymore in the same way. Something happened with that. Some sort of relationship ending. Some sort of situation ending before you felt ready for it. But you being able to move on, and assimilate the stress, but it doesn't mean you're not sad, right? Because you're still focused on the sadness here. There's 3 cups down, 2 cups still standing, but you're not really paying attention to those. And those 2 cups are your sense of self-worth, self-value, how amazing you are, that other people probably like you, right? It's not, but it's common, it's natural, it's part of the human condition to be very focused on that loss when we're first feeling it so that we could process it. Makes sense. Then we have the Empress energy, and it's being challenged by the Page of Cups. So very interesting, because I feel like, Aquarius, you may have either feelings for somebody, this very strong desire to move forward with somebody. The Empress energy is the mother of the tarot. So straight up Venus, straight up. And this is, but when we have this energy, it's about growing and moving and being more than you are right now. So for some of you, this is the idea of having a child. For others of you, it's the idea of getting married and moving on and growing that way. For others of you, this could be just being in a relationship. Some of you, it's getting married, whatever it is in relationship, but you get the idea. It's leveling up, right? Because again, as the mother of the tarot, she's perpetually pregnant. So it's like the seeds are planted, they're cultivated, they're grown, they're birthed, and then she does it again. So there's this constant sort of like a leveling up. So we have that as a situation right now, but it's being challenged by the Page of Cups. So some of you may feel very strongly about getting into a new relationship, getting into, if not a new relationship, leveling it up in all of the ways that I just mentioned. But there's this, some sort of news that's not coming in, some sort of offer is not being made. So this is, you want to get married, they're not asking. You want to go out with the person, they're not asking even, or it just can't happen, right? There's nobody there around. For some of you, if you're single, you're going to resonate with it, that it's like, there's just nobody there, like, that I feel connected with. It's not that there are no people, just not somebody who you feel connected with in that way, right? Because the Empress is a major arcana. This isn't like somebody you just want to go out and date a couple of times with or hook up with or something like that. It's not that kind of energy at all. This is like, I want to be the mother of your children. I want you to be the mother of my children. Let's get married. Let's grow. Let's build a life together. Let's create a legacy together, kind of thing. Like, it's serious, But there's just like, this energy is not coming in. And we have the Five of Pentacles here. And this is about feeling very tested right now. So some sort of test having to do with connection. And there's this lack of connection, testing of connection. So this could even be feeling like there's been a testing of your relationship if you're in one already. Testing about the boundaries that you hold within a current relationship or a potential new relationship. This could also be the pain in the aftermath of a breakup or somebody passing. If that's the case, I'm so sorry on both of those fronts, really. I know what that's like. So we have, that Five of Pentacles energy. It's like this sense of lack. But the thing is, what's interesting about the Five of Pentacles is there's more support available than you realize, which is interesting. More support than you realize right now. We have the Queen of Wands as the foundation. I love this energy because it's about stepping into your power. This is a Pisces and Aries energy. It's like, think that dream and then run. Go after it, right? Pisces is about dreaming. Aries is like, go after it. It's the Emperor energy. And what I like about this, but I'm feeling I just have such a healthy, grounded vibe from this reading. Meaning, like, even if you're dealing with something where there's some disappointment and some pain, whatever, Aquarius, I don't see it breaking you. I just don't. I really don't. I see you not losing sight of your values and what it is that you want for yourself. I love that we got the Ace of Swords here, because this is an awesome energy for new beginnings and you feeling super clear in your thought process, having to do with work, relationship, any area of your life, anything that is about the ability to move you forward in this relationship, right? All of these things are all obviously combined. Now, if this is a current relationship, this is the ability to get over past obstacles and getting what you want. Thoughts becoming things. But I feel like we have the selling out and we have the pride. It's like, what? You want me to do what? No. And you saying, I see the red flags. I see what's going on here. And you addressing it. You not allowing it to manifest beyond a certain point, which is good. The energy surrounding you is the Wheel of Fortune. So this is, I'm telling you, very fated energy here. This is about change. This is a very fortuitous energy. It's a good luck. It's a turning point. And this is an energy that encourages you to take a chance on something. This is someone from the past, someone or something. Somebody from the past just like magically reappears. This is very like destiny at work here. So this could be an old friend, an old relationship. Somebody comes back around though in your life, in your energy. Maybe you weren't involved with them last time you knew them in your life, but this time it looks like there's some sort of new beginning. And it's a Jupiter energy. So it's blessed. Obviously, if it's an energy that you're like, oh my God, it was a nightmare. Like I really cared about them, but I was miserable for the longest time after we broke up. Keep them in the past then, right? I mean, well, you do whatever you want to do, but that's, just saying. Because if you're trying to fit a circle in a square with the relationship kind of thing, Jupiter Jupiter will not bless it. We have in your challenge the Four of Wands. This is the honeymoon energy. Yeah, look, I mean, this is an energy of a new partner opening up their heart, expressing their love and affection. Again, we call it the honeymoon energy because for those of you who are in a current relationship, it's this like leveling up to a very strong foundation, but that's the challenge here, is feeling like you have a strong foundation. For those of you who are meeting somebody new, that person really opening up how it is that they feel. So you might feel like you're sort of dancing around something, but yet you're recognizing that being in the relationship may call for you to sell something out within you, and your pride might be stepping in to save you. There's nothing wrong with pride. To have pride is one thing. To be prideful in a negative way, there's a little more negative, malicious content to that, right? There's nothing wrong with pride, though. In a healthy way. Same thing with ego, right? We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse in the near future, which is about you're going to be dealing with somebody being selfish. This energy of struggling, right? Maybe somebody's having money issues. This could be debt. This could be like one-sided charity where one person makes money, the other one doesn't. One person likes to communicate, the other one doesn't. This could also indicate, emotions just not being reciprocated in the way that you would ultimately like. Now, whether you're not able to give that to somebody or they're not able to give it to you, it depends on your situation. But there is a devil energy at play here. This could indicate a difficult relationship, like somebody who's very controlling. This could indicate a lust over love situation or some sort of codependent patterning. For those of you who are in a space of separation, the devil can make you a financial dependent or any sort of other ongoing money thing or property thing that keeps you tied to that person in the past, right? Obviously, this would be if you guys were married or connected in some particular way. But the devil energy in itself is connected to the lover's energy in numerology. And that's about making a choice to fix something, to work out the imbalance, right? Because that's all the devil is, right? When we say the devil is addiction, what is addiction? Right? What is it? It's an imbalance. It's too much of something, right? There's nothing wrong with, all right, well, okay, maybe there is something wrong with like, I don't know, shooting heroin. I'm not judging, okay, but I'm just saying, okay, having a glass of wine, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you sit down and drink 3 bottles, maybe there's a problem there, right? Just saying, right, to give an example. There's nothing wrong with being anxious or being depressed sometimes, but if it's a constant thing and you need help or they need help, and that's a situation, that needs to be looked at, and it's not, that's a devil energy, you follow? So it could be anything that's creating an imbalance to the point of shackling the relationship from being really healthy and balanced. So there's some sort of imbalance going on there. We have the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups is a nice energy, and we have it with the 3 of Wands, and the 3 is always the number of creation and healing and very nice. If things are difficult, harmony returning. This is a new passion for those of you who are in the space of meeting somebody new right now. Very mutually supportive energy. For those of you in relationship, if things were very unstable, unsettled, there could be this element of harmony returning. Now, I do have to say that because it's clarifying the Three of Cups, I'm going to actually begin, and then we have the Three of Wands following that. I actually want to adjust my interpretation of this based on the surrounding cards. This Three of Cups, I'm understanding, is somebody partying too much and drinking a little too much, because we have then somebody turning their back on the past altogether and going in a different direction. It's like, look, man, you are not, like, we don't gel morally. So this literally could be drinking, but it so doesn't have to be. This could be cheating, flirting, whatever. It could be that. It doesn't have to be. It's just, right, there's not this mutual support. There's not this mutual gelling. So we have like a big goodbye here, which is really nice though, because this is moving on to realize what it is that you want and dealing with something different than what you've been dealing with. This is very much a dealing with unconventional people, right up Aquarius' alley, or in some sort of unconventional situation. Again, someone really appreciating your uniqueness and really embracing it. Really embracing it. And you just being like so ready to just not be in anything that's stressful anymore. Because this is an energy of overwhelm and responsibilities and burden and just an overload of demand. Now, for some of you, okay, I'm getting two things, so let me just say them. They come in so quick. All right. For some of you, if you are dealing in a long-term situation and nobody's going anywhere, you might be dealing with a partner who is really not being very either faithful, they're partying a lot, they're gambling, they're doing something that is shackling the relationship in a very profound way. And you are just focused on leaving and you just want to be good. You want to just turn your back on the past because you're feeling very overwhelmed. Now, the reality might be at the end of the day, your relationship might be neglected because of all of these other things going on in your life right now. So we could have this energy of the Eight of Wands coming in where, especially if you guys have been like separated, where there's some sort of news about love coming in, saying we need to talk, let's get together, we need to figure something out, I want to get to the bottom of this, I want this to work on something, because I feel like, Star Reverse, we gave up too easily. And there could be this idea of being too attached to a fantasy while overlooking the minutia and the facts of the situation, right? This could also have to do with you being pulled into some sort of false sense of security in something that has real no foundation and little chance of success, right? Because we got that devil energy. But then this could be you saying, all right, let's try to give it another chance. Okay, let me see. And then the Emperor energy, this is a new Mars, fresh path, new perspective, come on, let's go. But you, at the end of the day, not being able to let go of that vulnerability, that insecurity, that thing that was bothering you about the situation, and it ends up creating a lot of anxiety and depression in you. It's not, you're going to end up on this cyclical thing. You're going to end up selling yourself out. So you have to look for these signs like this devil energy, because for another bunch of you, I feel like this devil energy is going to come up, this imbalance, okay, and you're like, bypassed. It's hard, but I'm saying goodbye. Here we go. You getting contacted by somebody new. This is good news coming in. Busy communication. Mercury and Sagittarius. Mercury, communication. Sagittarius is all about moving forward. Okay, you might even be communicating with somebody from a foreign land or a different culture. Somebody from a different race, a different ethnicity, something like that. Somebody who's different. So I'm getting a lot of energy here that indicates different than typical, than what you would normally find yourself with. So again, we have the star energy in reverse. So this is this idea of, yes, giving up too soon in a situation, but feeling pulled into, recognizing that you were pulled into some sort of false sense of security in something that really didn't have much chance of a success. And now it's time that you want to just turn around and take ownership of your life. You're going to be meeting somebody new, and this person is going to align with what it is that you're looking for morally, your whole sensibility, and just really appreciate what you bring to the table. Look, but at the same time, you had some challenging experiences. So we're going to have this energy here of feeling very, very protective of yourself. Very protective of yourself. And there's some anxiety and overwhelm. Why? Because you have Mars in Gemini. in this energy. And when Mars is in Gemini, it's the big question. Is this the one? Is this where you're supposed to be going? And you're like, I don't know, And it's stressful because you're not responding well to the external stress of a situation. You're just not, because you're feeling this unbelievable need to protect yourself. Some of you might be really concerned about money as well. Yes. Yeah, because the King of Pentacles energy is really, it's very generous energy and all like hardworking, all of that. But this is somebody who has no patience for anybody who's looking to take what's his. So this could be somebody who, having to do with money, having to do with even trying to change them. So you might not have any patience if somebody's after your money, or if some of you might like, I don't have any money. All right, well, maybe they're coming in and trying to change you and who you are. You're not going to have it. You're not going to have it. We get the Tower here. There's got to be this necessary surrender. Mars is saving you here. You understand? There's like saving that's going on here. Mars in Cancer with Venus in Cancer, whatever is happening here is because whatever doesn't work out this month for you, you have to understand it was not meant for you in the long term. It was not good. We have the Ace of Pentacles, this is so auspicious. Beautiful happiness and contentment energy, getting what you want, it happening quickly. It's a very nice energy. It's a new connection. But just make sure that as you're experiencing this, that you recognize, while you're recognizing why something didn't work, you're also acknowledging that you have a need to heal some sort of past unhealed issue. And this could have to do from your childhood, from a past relationship. It doesn't really matter. But there's something inside of you that still needs to be healed. So if somebody is not willing to share, to accept you the way you are, to not want to use you, anything like that, anything unhealthy like that, that level of imbalance, you're not going to be able to stay in something. You're just not. Because your way of relating needs to change. It's not where you're meant to be. It's just not. But yet I see this other new energy coming in. It's very interesting. I almost feel like one person's leaving and another person is coming in. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like there's just lack of alignment between what it is that you want and the reality that you're living. You just really want to collaborate with somebody on a soul level. The High Priestess energy, you really do. And then we have the Page of Swords energy, and this could be somebody contacting you on social media, meeting somebody online, hearing from somebody from the past, whatever it is. There's some sort of information that's going to be coming in. And don't be afraid if you're kind of like, if you're meeting somebody new straight out of the gate, because your energy is still sort of wrapped up in somebody else. Give this person a chance, because I feel like they're good. All right, my friends, that is what I have. Obviously, it's not going to resonate with all of you, so take what resonates throughout the rest. Maybe we get the rest of you next time. I will see you guys next week. Until then, bye-bye.